So good morning. Here we are at the Art of Living Life Beyond Cancer Conference, sponsored by the Friends of Mel Foundation. And we're interviewing some of the attendees to learn what they think about their experience here today. And I'd like to introduce Jack Bouffard. And oh, by the way, my name is Pauline Alighieri. I'm the Executive Director of the Friends of Mel Foundation. And Jack Bouffard, we're interviewing. He's been here, this is your second time,
year.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me why you came back.
Well, in addition to seeing you,
Thank you. Oh, what a guy.
I came here
talking devil.
to partake in the dating and relationship panel with Tamika Felder and Sam Watson. Because as a young adult survivor, it could be tough navigating our post-cancer lives, and also the financial aspects of it that were covered by Kurt Balch earlier today.
So what do you feel, being a young adult survivor, do you feel that our program here today is really meeting some of your needs?
Absolutely, exceeding them.
Exceeding them,
Yeah,
oh really?
Because like myself, I'm a 5-year Hodgkin's lymphoma survivor, and I really only know my story and the experiences of people that I've come in contact with, many of them being young adults. But coming to something like this, I can see how other generations are affected by cancer and survivorship. So it's great. Like the one thing I love about the Friends of Mel conference is the fact that it covers all aspects of the cancer survivor experience.
Well, you know, it's interesting you say that because that's kind of our goal. I mean, our experience has been, regardless of the age, regardless of the diagnosis,
Right.
that the emotional experience, the psychosocial experience is pretty much the same across the
Absolutely.
board. The fear and the depression, the anxiety that I think stay with people long beyond treatment and just kind of this part of their life after they've been diagnosed, in my opinion.
Well, many young adults, people in their 20s and 30s are in a whole different part of their lives than the pediatric crowd and the older crowd are. For example, many of us are trying to find our way with jobs and insurance and, achieving independence from our parents, dating relationships, stuff like that. Whereas the older crowd has already been through all of that stuff, like the tough years of trying to find your path in life that you're going to stay with for, many years to come. Dating and intimacy is hard enough for a normal person, without factoring in port scars and missing body parts and fatigue and all those other issues. So that's why, young adults are a little more, tender when it comes to survivorship, because it's like, oh my God, like I'm supposed to be out getting married and having kids and dating and partying and all that stuff, and now I have to deal with this cancer diagnosis, and it's a lot harder for a 20-something to, have a mastectomy than it is for an older person.
You know, it's interesting that you say that because I have 2 adult children. They're 30 and 32 now, two young men. And I can remember when they were young, in their 20s, they couldn't go out of the house without their hair being just so.
Right.
So I can't even begin to imagine what the experience must be for someone who's dealing with their self-image at such a young age, actually any age,
Right.
but especially young adults.
Yeah,
So,
it's just a different time in our lives, and going back to the financial aspect of it, many people in their 20s and 30s are just embarking on their careers, and like I said, achieving that independence from their parents and going off their parents' insurance, and just trying to navigate that whole world.
and the other thing too that I hear a lot about is the infertility issues.
Right.
That's something else.
Absolutely. Yeah, and even my own personal story, I knew that chemotherapy would do things to my body, but at the time of my diagnosis, I didn't realize that it would kill, all reproducing cells in the body, including sperm. And my doctor was like, you need to consider sperm banking, and the girls have to do the egg harvesting and figure that stuff out. And fortunately, I'm okay in that area, so when the time comes for me to get married and do have kids, I'll be okay. But for a lot of young women out there, to be told like, oh, you might want to freeze some fertilized eggs or something, like they haven't found their sperm charming yet,
Right.
And many of them are single, and
they're just trying to wrap their arms around the cancer diagnosis,
exactly.
let alone
and this
that
is a whole
issue
other
as well.
aspect that could affect them, many years down the road.
That's kind of what I've always felt, like it shouldn't be that you have to pay for the rest of your life, whether it's financial or around childbearing years or. So I just found that was always like especially painful. Being the mother of these 2 young
Right.
men, I think, oh my God, I can't even imagine what they would be feeling if they had this experience.
Yeah.
So, but I'm really glad you're here. Will
Thank
you come
for
back
having
again?
Me. I will come back every year you do that.
Oh,
so
please, I'm so
thank you
glad.
very
Thanks,
much.
Jack. Thank you so much.